Imagine this for a second. You've just finished a normal meal. Nothing extreme. Maybe lunch at your desk. Maybe dinner with your family. You sit back, feeling full, a little heavy, maybe even sleepy. On the outside, everything feels calm. But inside your body, something intense has already begun. Within minutes, glucose from that meal is pouring into your bloodstream. Your blood sugar is rising fast, measured in milligrams per deciliter, whether you feel it or not. Your pancreas is reacting immediately, releasing insulin, trying to manage the surge. And here's the part most people never think about. In the first 10 minutes after you eat, your body is waiting for a signal. Not a workout, not willpower, just a simple cue that tells your muscles, this energy is needed. What you do next quietly determines whether that sugar gets used or stored, stressing your system for hours. Most people assume that if they don't feel anything dramatic after a meal, nothing important is happening. No shaking hands, no dizziness, no obvious warning signs. But that assumption is where the real problem begins. Blood sugar spikes are silent. After you eat, glucose enters your bloodstream quickly, and within about 30 to 60 minutes, blood sugar levels can climb from a resting range around 90 milligrams per deciliter to 180 or higher. That rise isn't harmless. Every sharp blood sugar spike creates oxidative stress, a kind of internal wear and tear that affects your blood vessels at the microscopic level. Think of it like corrosion forming inside plumbing you can't see. Over time, repeated post-meal spikes damage the endothelial lining of your arteries, increasing inflammation and strain on your cardiovascular system. And this doesn't only happen to people with diabetes. Research shows that post-meal glucose spikes are linked to heart disease, cognitive decline, and metabolic dysfunction, even in otherwise healthy adults. The danger isn't one big meal, it's the quiet repetition, day after day, meal after meal, without intervention. Here's the shift most people never hear, and it changes how you see your body entirely. Your body isn't failing you. It's not lazy. It's not bad at handling carbs. It's actually doing exactly what it was designed to do. Your muscles are like highly intelligent storage units. They don't just absorb sugar automatically, they wait for permission. Under normal conditions, insulin acts as that permission slip, telling cells to take glucose in. But insulin isn't the only signal your body understands. Muscle contraction is a second, completely separate signal. When muscles contract, even gently, they activate a powerful backup system that pulls glucose directly out of the bloodstream. No extra insulin required. The problem isn't that your body can't manage blood sugar. The problem is that after most meals, we give it no reason to try. We sit still. We send no movement signal. So glucose lingers in the blood longer than it should, forcing insulin to work harder and longer than nature ever intended. To really understand why timing matters, it helps to picture two parallel realities playing out inside the same body, same person, same genetics, same meals. The only difference is when movement happens. In the first scenario, you walk before eating. This usually happens in the morning, after 10 to 12 hours without food. Your insulin levels are low and steady. Your liver glycogen, your short-term sugar reserve, is running low but not empty. Hormones like cortisol and glucagon are gently elevated, signaling that energy needs to come from storage. When you start walking in this fasted state, your muscles need fuel, but there's no incoming glucose from food, so your body shifts gears and unlocks fat stores instead. Fatty acids are released, delivered to muscle, and burned for energy. Over time, this improves metabolic flexibility, your ability to switch between burning fat and carbohydrates efficiently. Done gently, fasted walking can support fat oxidation and long-term metabolic health. But it's not without limits. If the intensity is too high or the duration too long, cortisol can rise excessively, especially in people who are already stressed, sleep-deprived, or hormonally sensitive. That's why light walking works better than intense cardio when fasted. Now let's look at the second scenario. And this is where things change dramatically. You've just eaten. Carbohydrates are being broken down. Glucose is entering your bloodstream. Your pancreas responds immediately, releasing insulin to manage the rise. If you sit still, your muscles don't need much energy. They ignore insulin's signal. Blood sugar stays elevated longer, and insulin levels climb higher in an attempt to force glucose into cells. This is where most post-meal damage occurs. But when you stand up and walk within the first 10 minutes after eating, even at an easy pace, something powerful happens. Your muscles begin contracting, and glucose transporters move to the surface of muscle cells, pulling sugar directly out of your bloodstream. This process works independently of insulin. Instead of spiking sharply, blood sugar rises more gently, peaks lower, and returns to baseline faster. The same meal creates a completely different biological outcome. The difference isn't effort, it's timing. At this point, the story already makes biological sense. But science has gone one step further and measured it directly. In a 2025 study published in Scientific Reports, a peer-reviewed journal under the Nature umbrella, researchers tested a simple question. Does when you walk after eating really matter? Participants completed 3 conditions on different days. In one, they sat still after consuming a glucose drink equivalent to a large carbohydrate-heavy meal. In another, they took a 10-minute walk immediately after eating, at a comfortable, conversational pace. In the third, they waited 30 minutes, then walked for 30 minutes. The results surprised even the researchers. The 10-minute walk done immediately after eating produced the lowest overall blood sugar exposure, measured as area under the curve. It also resulted in the lowest peak blood sugar, the most damaging part of a spike. The longer walk done later helped, but not nearly as much. By the time 30 minutes passed, the spike had already happened. Timing didn't just improve the outcome, it changed it entirely. What makes this habit powerful isn't just what happens after one meal. It's what happens when you repeat it, quietly, day after day. When you walk for just 10 minutes after meals on a regular basis, your body begins to adapt at a deeper level. Muscle cells become more insulin sensitive, meaning they need less insulin to absorb the same amount of glucose. Mitochondria, the energy-producing structures inside your cells, increase in number and efficiency. Over time, this leads to smoother blood sugar curves, lower average glucose levels, and measurable improvements in HbA1c, the 3-month marker doctors use to assess long-term glucose control. Inflammation decreases. Cardiovascular strain eases. Cognitive health is better protected. What's striking is how small the input is compared to the payoff. You're not training harder. You're not eating less. You're simply aligning movement with the moment your body is most receptive to it. Small timing shifts, repeated consistently, create outsized biological returns. This only works if it fits into real life, not an ideal schedule. And that's the beauty of it. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need workout clothes. You don't even need extra motivation. After breakfast, lunch, or dinner, simply stand up and move your body for 10 minutes. Walk around your house. Walk around the block. Walk in your backyard. Walk slowly while listening to a podcast or talking on the phone. The pace doesn't matter nearly as much as the timing. This isn't cardio. It's a metabolic signal. For people who work long hours, this can replace the post-lunch slump. For parents, it can become a short walk with the kids after dinner. For older adults, it's a safe, joint-friendly way to support glucose control and longevity. And if mornings feel good to you, a gentle walk before breakfast can still have benefits. But it's optional. The non-negotiable habit, the one with the highest return, is the short post-meal walk. Here's the part that matters more than any study or strategy. Your body is not working against you. It never has been. Every spike, every signal, every adaptation is your biology responding to the environment you create. When you sit still after eating, your body stores energy because it thinks you'll need it later. When you move right after a meal, you send a different message. I need this energy now. That's not discipline. That's cooperation. This isn't about perfection or control. It's about respect. A 10-minute walk after meals isn't a fitness trend. It's a conversation with your metabolism. Try it tonight. Don't change your food. Don't push the pace. Just walk for 10 minutes after you eat, for 3 days, and notice what shifts your energy, your digestion, your focus. And if you want to understand why fasting, hormones, and timing can either work together or quietly cancel each other out, that's exactly what we'll break down next.